The following program is not supercalifragilistic, whether it is the expialidocious variety or any other variety. The following program is also not espresso, sherbet, supposedly transphobic, or whatchamacallit, or any other completely made-up word. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I'm your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Lawgic. I have so many things to share with you tonight. I don't even know where to begin. I do not know where I know where I can begin. There's a lot of different places that I can begin. But which one? I don't know. Crazy stuff. Apparently, jobs report was overreported by over 800,000 jobs. Whoops. This is not information you want to hear when you are at a convention for the incumbent party. No, not information you want to hear. Not information that certainly the Secretary of Commerce wanted to hear when she's sitting there being interviewed while she's attending the Democratic National Convention. This is not good news for a party that says, "Oh, everything's going fine. Oh, it's all good. Everything's good. Everything's gravy." Why are people complaining? Such an amazing administration. Like, this is like Mount Rushmore. It's so crazy how good everything is. Can't even begin to describe it. No, I can't even begin to describe it. I mean, we should try to describe it a little bit. It's weird. To me, it's very, very weird and strange that people are clearly not appreciating exactly how great this administration is doing. Oh no, this is Biden's popularity is at what? 38% approval for a Mount Rushmore president. It's crazy. Craziness. Let's check out that Secretary of Commerce and her thoughts about how things are cratering. Once we start actually looking at how America is doing, picture's not quite as rosy as the DNC would have us believe. Let's check her out.
When you hear that, do you potentially think that this new numbers could be a liability for this campaign? No.
No. Why would someone think that a downturn in the jobs report would be a liability? The last jobs report to come out before the election, why would someone think that that's potentially bad? I don't know. Why would people even think such a thing? So it's down by 800,000. I mean, let's not get crazy. Let's not.
When I hear that, first of all, I don't believe it because
don't. You just la 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 la, not listening, la 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 la.
Because I've never heard Donald Trump say anything truthful.
It is, though, from the Bureau of Labor.
That those lying Bureau of Labor people. Why couldn't it just be Donald Trump saying it? Bureau of Labor, him and his stupid sources. You think you're so smart with all your sources, Donald Trump, all your quote unquote sources. I don't believe you. I'm not listening.
From the Bureau of Labor.
I'm not familiar with that.
When you hear that,
I'm not familiar. I don't know what you're talking about now. It's like you're making up words. Are these like you're making up words? I don't know. What does Bureau mean? What labor? What does that even mean? I don't understand what you're saying. What are you saying? I don't understand anything. Oh my God. Rough night. You might think that but there's been so much flavor, so much fever going on in the DNC. You got to figure that that's going to translate that's going to translate to something, positive. And the numbers, whatever the numbers were, which coming into the convention, if you were Kamala, you had to be enthused that they certainly were better than Biden's numbers. So you have to be, and now we got this rising crescendo. So how's Democratic Chicago councilman here weighing in on this? What are his thoughts about how this thing is going?
Democrats winning any new voters at this convention?
I highly doubt it. I think this is all playing to their own base, not trying to recruit new people, because clearly the Democratic Party, my party, is not interested in talking about what matters. How are you going to keep people safe? How are you going to secure the border? And how are you going to deal with the 8 million undocumented individuals that they let in under Kamala Harris's lead?
Democrats winning.
Apparently, this guy, I know he's Democrat, he didn't get the memo. He didn't get the memo that orange man is bad, like really bad, really bad. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back, I say. We're not going back. Oh, this struggle is so real. The struggle is so real. I will say this. With respect to the struggle being real, I just want to, a news report was shared on my local's timeline that I want to share with all of you. And on this one, I'm not going to laugh. On this one, even though some of you would think that Joe sees this story, he's going to laugh about it. No. To me, this is just sick. This is just sick. This is really sick. It's part of the struggles of the DNC, which makes it tempting to laugh at. But this is just sick. This is disturbing, gross. Ew, what is wrong with people?
Go back to Chris Ty now. And Chris, we were talking about some unsettling things happening with delegate breakfast. Take us back to that.
Yeah, so unsettling is the word here, Erica. What we are learning from sources is that 2 women were spotted leaving a part of the Fairmont Hotel this morning where the Indiana delegation was having their delegates breakfast. What witnesses tell us here at CBS News Chicago is that bugs were released into the buffet display. Crickets are the types of bugs we're being told were at play here. We're told one person was treated and released for a very minor illness.
These people are sick. They're sick. They are sick and disgusting. And they did the same thing at the RNC, and I said it was sick then. And when they're doing it at the DNC, I say it's sick now. These people are sick and twisted and should go to prison. This is sick. These are sick people.
Everyone is okay. The FBI.
And yes, I know the jokes write themselves that they're Democrats. They're used to eating the bugs. Okay, but all kidding aside, I can't make a joke about this. I can't because this is sick. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with. And these are the leftists. These are the leftists, the ones who are all like, the Palestine, free Palestine, genocide, releasing bugs.
And Chicago police are investigating. So that is one small thing that's being worked on by authorities here in Chicago. I want to take you to the main stage here at the United Center a couple of hours ago, where the focal point of tonight's events was Tim Walz walking through the stage production, kind of getting his familiarity with the lighting, the teleprompter, the echo that comes.
I don't care about that part. But yeah, I don't know. I hope they find these culprits, because there's something very, very wrong with these folks. Very, very wrong with these folks. Sick. Just absolutely sick. Now, I know I saw here people want me to cover certain things. You want me to look at Matt Walsh at the DNC? Supposedly transphobic. That's Matt Walsh at the DNC. I pulled this up now. I didn't even know he was at the DNC. This is a pretty funny picture. Matt Walsh, we were fortunately able to hand out hundreds of cards at the DNC warning people about the dangers of Project 2025. Go to project2025.com. Learn the truth about Trump's radical agenda. And there is his point is obviously that if you go to Project 2025, it actually doesn't sound. Oh, what is this? Make a difference. This is his own.
Me.
Being a white, straight, cisgender man, it's the top of the pile.
I'm on the top of the pile. That's me. Am I racist?
I would really appreciate it if
It's advertisement. for his new upcoming feature. Am I racist? That's funny. That's pretty funny. That's cute. All right. Whew. What should we go to next? I had so many things here. I was like trying to find some way to sort this out. We're talking about the sick people out there. We're talking about the sick people in Chicago, where they need walls to keep people out, because apparently walls work now. They need police because apparently police need funding now. They need to save democracy because apparently saving democracy means overturning primary elections. Welcome to the DNC. And here's what a considerable number of how this is what the wackos from their party, and not everyone on the left is a wacko. Some of them are just dumb. But this is what the wackos.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Guy tries to stop the flag from burning.
Don't burn the American flag. We did. And you're fucking stupid ass flag too. It's our country. Don't burn the American flag. Burn it down. Burn it down. You guys are the enemy. Don't burn the flag. I don't care what you say. Don't burn Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free
Disgusting.
Palestine!
Sickening.
Free Palestine!
And don't get me wrong, I got tons of problem with our government. Tons of problem with our government. You're an idiot if you think that means we should destroy America, or that America is wholly evil. Idiots. It's like they're so inept in that they don't appreciate the fact that they can actually make this demonstration is why they should not be burning the American flag.
Hello?
Idiots.
Children in Gaza are being murdered.
You're a child.
The people responsible are having a fucking party in this fucking city. This is what we think of your fucking rag. This is what we think.
Yeah, you're a real man there, hiding your face. You're huge. You're so brave. Oh, you're so brave. So brave.
In your fucking rag. The only acceptable American flag is one that is burned to char.
So brave.
For any American citizen
So brave.
confused, I want you to reflect back in the last 5 years. If you're fucking older than 16, then you remember 2008. You remember every fucking crisis in the last 20 years. Where the fucking boot-licking motherfuckers protecting them, the people at the top, have cracked down on the people on the bottom for way too fucking long. People's consciousness is growing.
Sick.
You see the people of the world suffering. You see bombs eviscerating families. And we think, well, shit's all right over here.
Relax. I gotta wade my way. I haven't gotten to the DNC part yet.
Right? But you're fucking dead wrong.
I had to share just what these lunatics stand for. So relax. Oh, look at this. That's not what I wanted to share. Don't look at that. Anyway, tonight is the party of joy, because that's what this is being billed at. And I want to share with you one meme here. This one is more powerful than it is funny. But this one just came across my feed, and I was like, "Ooh, I like this one."
I've got the Let's do this.
Wow. Wow, I saw that one like early this morning. I forgot what it was. I forgot. I was like, I'm glad I put it aside, but my God, I got the joy in my life. See, and there's certain speeches we've missed some key moments. I thank Vigilant Fox for sharing this with me. You guys should be following him on X. This is Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders. Listen to him at the DNC calling out the Democratic Party, and you can see it's 8 years later, and he's still angry. He is still raging about what the Democratic Party did to him, raging about how that primary was stolen from him by the Democratic Party. Check out Bernie Sanders. He's so mad.
At the very top of that to-do list is the need to get big money out of our political process. Billionaires in both parties should not be able to buy elections.
Both parties. That's right. He's talking about both parties,
including primary elections. At the very top of that to-do
list. That's what in there, including primary elections. Man, he is bitter. You bitter, Bernie. You mad, bro? You mad, bro? Bro. You mad, bro? I also want to share with you something I meant to share with you yesterday. I forgot to cover. I forgot to get this out to you yesterday. I definitely meant to give this to you yesterday. This is not what I want. I meant to get this to you yesterday. This was great. Yesterday, when he was in Michigan, Trump dropped a bomb on a reporter who asked him a question that after he had wrapped up, and was trying to imply he was racist because he gave a speech in a racist town. It's hard to hear. The audio is not clear when the reporter is asking his question. Or her question, excuse me. The reporter is asking her question. It's a little hard to hear. So I'm going to try and make sure. We'll test our volume levels and see if this works. But he just like literally drops the mic and walks away. This is awesome. So Kamala Harris campaign attacked you for being in this town. With white supremacists. So why would you come to this town with the white supremacists? The Kamala Harris campaign attacked him for that. Check out this man.
Who was here in 2021? Thank you, everybody.
You need to get the whole cartoon sunglasses and cigar. Who was here in 2021? Joe Biden. Oh, thank you. That question right there, it shows everything about mainstream media. Everything. Because listen to that crazy reporter. What is your response? I mean, why would you come to this racist town? It shows the distinction between the way they cover Trump versus the way they cover any Democrat. Because I guarantee you, they weren't asking, why are you coming to this town? Why are you coming to this racist town? Everyone knows this town is just filled with gay. Why are you coming here, Joe? Why? Oh. So I guess only Democrats are allowed to visit KKK towns. I guess. I don't know. Only Democrats are allowed. Maybe, it's their home. So they got to be able to go home. I don't know. No, thank you, Lily. I'm sorry you won't be able to be here, but you'll be in my thoughts as well. Thank you so much. It's very thoughtful. So that was just a classic response from the president. That is my president right there. That is my president. I want to say this for later. What else did I have for you that I want to share with you? And now I have that song stuck in my head. I have it stuck in my head. That's not good. That's not good. Let's check out. Let's see what's going on in DNC. I don't want to fall behind.
Approaching this rare.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I don't know who this is. Amanda Gorman. She's a guest speaker. Okay. We don't care. You don't care. I don't care. No one at the DNC cares.
Like a million roots tethered, branching up humbly, making one tree. This is our country from many, one, from battles won, our freedoms sung, our kingdom come has just begun.
I don't know what this has to do with the Democratic Party. All right, I can't. This feels masturbatory. But I do have that sort of plucked aside, so I'm able to keep an eye on the DNC and see if anyone significant actually steps up to the mic. If I can move this over, well, I'll to keep an eye on you. I need to keep an eye on you because all of a sudden someone's going to pop up that I want to cover. All right. I did want to talk to you about what's going on with RFK. Should I cover that now? I'm going to push that aside. Apparently, I don't know how this got into my thing, but I got a whole bunch of folks who were messaging about how angry they are with the Democratic Party. So while the Democrats are having their convention, apparently they're not really landing with the constituents that they're hoping to land with. Because remember, this entire thing is basically ginning up black women, and minorities in general to get on out there and vote for Kamala. Vote for Kamala! Vote for her! Well, it's not really working so well with everyone.
I wanted to talk to you today about the Democrat National Convention that's going on in Chicago and some of the things that I observed. Now, the first thing that I observed, and if you go on any news telecast right now, you'll see it yourself. But the police presence, there looks to me like there are hundreds of police officers lining the parameters of the convention. Now, I just wanted to take you back just maybe even a few months ago. Remember when the Democrats were so anti-police, when we had people burning the small businesses in Atlanta, and when they were tearing down statues in Washington, D.C., and all over the country, when they were burning down small businesses in Minnesota and in Wisconsin and all over. Remember, all of them were anti-police. They didn't want police. It was fine for criminal elements.
People are noticing.
Small businesses.
People are noticing.
Communities.
You
that was
protect
fine
yourselves.
But now the people that were so opposed to police officers,
defunded.
Kamala Harris was one of them. Maxine Waters. All of the people that they call the squad, the most progressive part of the Democrat Party, all of them wanted to defund the police. Isn't that funny? That now all of a sudden these same police officers that they wanted to defund, now they want them there to protect them. It was not fine when we needed them, when Americans needed police officers to protect our communities. They did not care about our protection.
They didn't care how many people died, were injured, the carnage.
Is that they require ID to get into their convention. ID. Can you believe that? Didn't they just say this past week or a week before that they didn't think IDs were necessary?
Maybe this woman is a poor choice because she obviously believes in the American flag. And that doesn't make her your typical Democrat. Let's find a different one.
As a feature at the DNC to terminate pregnancies and give the... So yesterday, I realized how sick you guys really are when you defended Planned Parenthood as a feature at the DNC to terminate pregnancies and give vasectomies, and you thought it was okay. I realized how ignorant you were when you wanted to argue with me and say it was Plan B when it wasn't, when you could go to the Planned Parenthood site and see what it was. You can go to their Twitter, their X, and see what it was. I realized you have no reverence to time and place, not even life yet,
Preach
but
it.
time and place.
Preach
I
it.
realized that you will go to extremes to defend the ending and termination of a life, and you just think it's okay. I realize that it's willful ignorance, especially for you Black people and you liberal white saviors, because that's what you think you are. I realize that it's willful ignorance when there's a reason that they're always in inner city, urban areas, why that bus is not in any other kind of community. They're always in inner city, poor communities, and you still somehow find it okay to back up and support it. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm not against choice in your first trimester, but I am against the targeting of minorities.
And they are targeted.
Targeting of the inner city. And this is no different than the payday loans. They put it in certain places because they know you're vulnerable. And quite frankly, your support of this makes me sick.
I didn't see the end of it, but I knew where she was going. All right. Well, or maybe she's just like someone who has an anger with, with the whole pro-choice thing. Let's find someone else.
The damn Democrats at the DNC are crazy as hell, shouting they're not going back. Hell no, I don't want to go back to open borders, high food prices, high gas prices,
there you go.
High inflation.
There you go.
Rate, can't even buy a damn home. Why? I don't want to go back, Kamala. That's why I'm not voting for you. I'm voting for Donald Trump. And who in the hell had the agility or the stamina to stay up all night and to listen to Joe Biden? Joe Biden and all his damn lies. That's all he did was lie, and scream. Is more louder than I'm screaming right now. Man, I got to give y'all props that y'all stayed up to watch Joe Biden. I thought that he might throw down and say something against the Democrats for orchestrating a coup against him, but no, he stayed on script, lying about Donald Trump and his lying ass. I'm tired of Joe Biden. I'm tired of Kamala. The damn Democrats at the
There you go. There you go. And this is true. Come on the ground. If you want to vision the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. George Orwell. That's what Democrats want. That is what they want. Let me check out. Oh my. This is almost not fair. She's got to follow these folks. She's gonna have to follow these folks. Do you know who they wheeled out now? You want to see who they wheeled out now? America's favorites. America's favorites. They're wheeling them out.
There are people who want you to see our country as a nation of us against them. People who want to scare you.
That's the Democrats.
To rule you.
Oh my God.
People who'd have you believe that books are dangerous.
They are if they're for little kids.
And assault rifles are safe.
Oh God.
That there's a...
You're a sick woman. How much money did they give her? How much money did they give her? It's like she needs more money. Unbelievable, Oprah. So sad. What a sad woman. I actually think she probably has a miserable life. For all the preaching about how I'd rather hear from intelligent Black women. And I don't think Oprah's unintelligent. I just think that she's a complete and total sellout. She's a total sellout. You're sitting here saying that it's totally okay for 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds to be reading books about sexuality? That's a good thing? Is that what you stand up for now, Oprah? Are those your parental values? Are those the ethics you're promoting now, Oprah? Sick. Like how badly do you have to sell out? How badly do you have to sell out? Pathetic. Well, here's one woman who's not a sellout.
So, what brings you to the rally here today? What do you support about Trump?
I'm a 40-year Democrat who has turned away and walked away from the Democratic Party because of the way I was treated after my son was killed. You know, the way the party turned against me, and they would not support me in my efforts. And also Alvin Bragg, the way he let two of my son's killers, walk. He dropped gang assault and murder charges against two of my son's killers. So, I've been in this fight for about 6 years, and we support Trump because we know that he cares about the issues that happen here in this community, even to the point where he has actually showed up here today, all right, in the South Bronx, the dirty South Bronx, okay, that is full of crime and poverty, dilapidated housing, failing schools, unemployment, crime, and he's actually here to listen to and deliver a message to the people.
So, what brings you to the rally?
So, there you go. Apparently, it's not resonating with all black women. I think these are not isolated. These all just like work their way into my feed. I didn't have to go searching for black women against Kamala. You probably have to search for white dudes for Kamala. I didn't have to go searching for black women against her. I didn't. This just literally was like one after another in my feed.
Did I watch the DNC? Well, the short answer would be no. But the long answer would be hell no, because I'm not going to absolutely torture myself by forcing myself to watch what was basically a 4-hour long 2 minutes of hate speech, like something seen out of the 1984 book. Yep. I cannot stand to sit there and listen to the exact same people who have been voting in favor for damaging policies these last 4 years that have ruined the economy, created massive division, and promoted socialism, get up on stage and sit there and pretend like they care and that they're working for the American people, when it's clear they've only been working for themselves. They are the biggest hypocrites in this country, and understand every single time that they say Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, understand they mean their idea of democracy, which is breaking down and completely getting rid of our constitutional republic.
Dang! Fire! Just fire. Was he? He was on ages ago? Should I try to find Clinton talking? Should I try to find it? Thank you. Positive, I met a Trump hater who's now on the Trump train after learning about the inject bleach lie. Eyes are opening. And it's like, how long does it take them for, as they say, a lie travels halfway around the world before the truth can put its pants on. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Now I'm curious though about watching. I miss Shapiro. I miss Josh Shapiro also, and Nancy. Man, I missed them all. All right. How long is this speech here? Been a long time since I heard. Since I heard from him. Apparently, I missed Hakeem Jeffries too. Wow, star-studded night. I don't know how she's gonna go after all these people. They're gonna have the worst speakers in the world tomorrow, because she's not on a level of these speakers. Slick Willie knows how to give a speech. He knows how to give a speech. Let's check out a little bit of Slick Willie.
He had an improbable turn that made him president. And we were in the middle of a pandemic and an economic crash.
Wait, what? Who?
They sound better. But I love seeing all these young leaders.
He sounds like he's 142. I haven't heard him speak in ages. He sounds so old. Oh my God. It's so hard to gauge his age because he's always had white hair. He's always had like silver hair. So it's like, forever. He sounds, they made him up well, but he sounds like older than Lincoln.
A bunch of them are coming up after me. They look better, they sound better, and they'll be exciting. I do want to say one word about President Biden.
Biden.
Remember,
Okay.
he had an improbable turn.
He shouldn't have been
Made him
president.
president. And we were in the middle of a pandemic and an economic crash.
That's why he won. At least he's able to
He
admit it.
healed our sick and put the rest of us back to work.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
And
No, he didn't.
he strengthened our alliances for peace and security.
We were having record job growth month by month for like the 2 months before he came up.
Stood up for Ukraine. He's trying desperately to get a ceasefire in the Middle East.
Yeah, he's done great. He's done so great. He's done so
And then
great
he
at
did
that.
something that's really hard for a politician to do. He voluntarily gave up political power. And
No, he did not do that either. How do they keep trying to say this lie when Biden was like, well, they said I had to step aside? Everyone knows. Everyone knows this. Like, who do they think they're fooling? He didn't voluntarily give up anything. When you that's like saying that's like saying Germany voluntarily gave up Europe to the Allies. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. You remember that time that the South voluntarily gave up their right to secede to the North? You remember that time? Remember that time when King George III voluntarily gave up the colonies? It was so noble of King George. Can you believe how generous he was? I mean, King George had all that opportunity to basically tax the colonies for thousands of years if he wanted, and he voluntarily gave it up. I mean, just look at the nobility and majesty of that man. Unbelievable, King George III.
George Washington knew that.
Oh,
and
see?
he did it.
And so did King George.
And he set the standard for us serving 2 terms before it was mandatory. It helped his legacy, and it will enhance Joe Biden's legacy. And it's a stark contrast to what goes on in the other party.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
wanna
Stark
thank you.
contrast that there's no coup in the other party. That's the stark contrast that there's no coup. That as much as everyone in all the uniparty rats in the Republican Party, the sick, disgusting rats, the good thing you can say about them is they never held a coup against Donald Trump. Yeah, there you go. Says a lot about the other party. That they actually believe in a democratic process, unlike you lying hypocrites.
Faith, and he's infected a lot of the rest of us. Now let's cut to the chase. I am too old to gild the lily. 2 days ago, I turned 78, the oldest man in my family of 4 generations. And the only personal vanity I want to assert is I'm still younger than Donald Trump.
And you look weaker by light years.
Last night, in what I thought was a very moving series of episodes, we nominated Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And just think about that. 2 leaders with all-American but
socialists.
still improbable life stories.
I mean, just think.
It could only happen here.
It's not like he was a socialist. He wasn't. And he knows what socialism is. Why are you? They're so desperate. This is like the nature of politicians. And apparently Democrats are just the king of politicians in this regard. They're so desperate for validation, recognition, 10 minutes of fame, and and being in with the cool kids that they will literally sell out their principles in a snap, because he was never into socialism. He wasn't. He never tried promoting any sort of socialist agenda. And he knows socialism. He's not a stupid man, not at all. Bill Clinton was never a stupid man. He's corrupt. He's selfish. He's greedy. He's a thief. He's a terrible human being who is married to an somehow even more terrible human being, or whatever you call that relationship they have. And they, I mean, I guess marriage is using that term, you know, very literally, as opposed to, like, you know, how people understand marriage to be. But the point being, these are not values he ever believed in at all. Most of you are too young to remember Bill Clinton as a president. I understand that. And, you know, he was by Democrat standards, like, not terrible. Not terrible. Not good. Not good.
Their careers, after all, started in community courtrooms and classrooms. Two leaders who spent a lifetime getting the good job done. Now,
terrible.
One of the things that I've noticed over my increasingly long life, that is that a presidential election is unique in several ways. First of all, it's the greatest job interview for the greatest job in the world. Secondly, the Constitution says we, the people, get to do the hiring. And
no, it doesn't. No, that's the scary part, because you don't have transparency. That is actual integrity. It used to. It used to. Once upon a time.
And the third thing is,
thank God,
that every 4 years we get to change the requirements for the job.
I had apparently now the requirement is just be a black woman, or no, a black woman. So I'm just wondering, am I the only one who thinks that you know, he could step right in and do Abe Simpson in a heartbeat? I remember back in my day, we didn't have all your fancy foods. We had potatoes for breakfast, potatoes for lunch, potatoes for snack, and potatoes for dinner. Of course, we didn't call it potatoes. We called it groundy fruit. And every day we would come out and have a big gathering on the table for some new helpings of groundy fruit. My God, he sounds so bad. So bad.
Because I try to apply this in every election. Will this president take us backward or forward?
Please. If forward means socialism, then you just tell. This is what you're trying to say. I can't. Oh my God, Master Phillips hitting me. 5. Count 5. I said 5. That's right. 5 good Lawgic memberships. Who did you gift? Mr. E. Mr. E gifted courtesy of Master Phillips. Greg McNeely, Gypsy. Who else did we got? I missed. It jumped on me. Why did it jump on me? Don't jump on me. I pulled it up when it was there. Sorry. We had Rocky, Mr. E 409, Greg McNeely, a Spirit Fleck, and Gypsy. All of them gifted membership in the following. That's right. Welcome to the following. You are now a follower. Welcome aboard. You are part of the follower. Good job. And great job to the King of Recruitment. That's right. King of Recruitment, Master Phillips. God bless you, brother. Sadly, he was probably the least effective poet in my life. Not old enough to remember much of Reagan. He was the last effective poet in my life. It's not like he was effective. He just happened to preside over a time of nice, healthy growth due to the .com boom. So people remember him fondly.
Will this president
That's weird.
give our kids a brighter future? Depends. Will this president bring us together or
Depends.
tear us apart?
Please.
Will the president increase the peace, security, and stability and freedom that we enjoy and extend it to others as we can?
These are all reasons to vote for Trump. These are everything he's saying are reasons to vote for Trump. The irony of the Democrats being lacking in any self-awareness, where they talk about, leaning towards division, when the entire rhetoric is the other side is evil. Literally, and you saw one of the speakers who I brought up there, who did a little selfie TikTok thing or whatever, was talking about how I don't need to hear 4 hours of hate speech. And that's what it is. And then they're sitting here saying the other side's so divisive. They're so divisive. They're so evil and divisive. They're so evil and divisive. Oh, my God, we need to kill them all. They're so evil and divisive. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. They are lacking in any self-awareness at all.
We, the people, we have to make a decision about these kind of questions. And every 4 years, it's a little different because the people come at the candidates, and they say, as they're saying now, here are our problems, solve them. Here are our opportunities, seize them. Here are our fears, ease them. Here are our dreams, help them come true.
Okay, see, this is the problem with Democrats. It's not up to the Democrats to help dreams come true. What the hell is that? The Constitution is what enables your dreams come true. That's what it is. It gives you the opportunity to help our dreams come true.
A president can answer that call by saying, I'll do my part, but you have to help me. We have to work together. Or you can dodge what needs to be done by dividing, distracting, and diverting us. So in 2024, we got a pretty clear choice, it seems to me.
He's meandering everywhere. Yes, he
Kamala
was.
Harris,
Yes,
the
he
people.
was. He was always.
And
He's just like flying all over
the
Southeast
other guy
Asia.
who's proved
There's no evidence that he
even more
went to
than the
Epstein
first
Island,
go-around,
but he did go to Southeast Asia. He
he's
flew all
about
around that
me,
jet to
myself,
Southeast Asia, which is
and
where
I.
people claim there's no restrictions on any
I know which
perverse
one I
appetites.
like better for our country.
Really? No. You know which one you like better for our country.
Kamala Harris
It's not that
will
person.
work to solve our problems, seize our opportunities,
Really?
ease our fears,
Really?
and make sure every single American, however they vote, has a chance to chase their dreams.
As long as they're not MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans.
You know, when she was young, she worked at McDonald's.
Oh, I don't need to hear about her stupid life history. They make it sound like she grew up in poverty. Wow, this is a long speech. Let's hear Drunk Nancy. Mindy Kaling.
Please welcome Nancy Pelosi.
So sad. I don't like seeing actors and actresses at these things because then it's like, oh man, something else I can't watch anymore. Yep. Yeah, there was a painting of him there. But there's no evidence from the flight log that he was there. I want to see if her dentures fly out of her mouth.
On January 20th, 2021, with the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, we established one of the most successful presidencies of modern times.
Oh my God, that's gonna be her. That's her whole speech. It's gonna be like sitting here gaslighting how everyone's really happy. Everyone's really happy. They're really happy. Everyone's so happy. Did you see the job report today, Nancy?
Deliver.
Really? Did you see the
Millions
job
of
report
jobs,
today?
Stronger infrastructure and rural broadband,
That's probably true. The
a
Hobbs.
Biden child tax credit, rescuing human pensions,
going.
honoring our veterans, bold climate action, lowering the cost of prescription drugs, all thanks to President Biden's patriotic vision
Bold
of a
climate
fair
action.
America, doing so with liberty and justice.
Liberty and justice. Yes. Yes, that's right. Prosecutorial persecutions of your political enemies is liberty and justice.
For all.
Well, that reminded me. I have this for you, Nancy.
How dare you? Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
And I know that Vice President Harris is ready to take us to new heights.
Yeah, 4 months ago, she was mulling over getting her off the ticket because they were worried she would pull down Joe because of how awful she was.
I've known Kamala Harris for decades. Personally, I know her a person of deep faith, which is reflected in her community care and service.
Oh, stop it.
Officially,
I can't. She's too much. She's too much of a liar. I can't. My God. I can't do it to you. I like you guys too much. I like you too much. She's so painful. She's so painful. Right now, Pete Buttigieg, but I don't know, whatever. Buttigieg, whatever, however you pronounce his name. He's doing his thing. Let's check him out and see. Let's see where he's at.
United States. The choice could not be clearer.
Oh, that's true.
Donald Trump rants about law and order as if he wasn't a convicted criminal running against a prosecutor.
He's not a convicted criminal. No, he's not a convicted criminal. I'm not sure if you're too stupid or too lacking integrity to make that statement.
As if we were going to forget that crime was higher on his watch.
No.
Talks about the forgotten man, hoping we'll forget that the only economic promise that he actually kept was to cut taxes for the rich.
That's not a promise he made. Everyone's like,
and don't even get me started on his new running mate. At least Mike Pence was polite.
How do you guys speculate that this guy became someone that people feel like he's got it? I look at him. I want to just have this conversation with you. Look at him. How did this guy, who looks like Eddie Munster and never had any real accomplishment, how is it that he ascended and basically, I understand, he's gay, but that's not that in vogue anymore. That's not that big a deal anymore. So I don't even understand, how did he become something that people are like, that the Democrats are like, this is the guy we need to get behind? Maybe we'll see. I'll see more in this speech. I don't know.
J.D. Vance is one of those guys who thinks if you don't live the life that he has in mind for you, then you don't count.
That's not what he said.
Someone who said that if you don't have kids, you have, quote, no physical commitment to the future of this country. Senator, when I deployed to Afghanistan, I didn't have kids then. Many of the men and women who went outside the wire with me didn't have kids either. But let me tell you,
Our commitment to the future of this country was pretty damn physical.
All right. So I can't. I need to see Tim Walz. I need me some Tim Walz already. Just bring the frog out of it. Bring the frog out. DIs. Yeah, so do I. I was like, yeah, this guy's got a kid. This guy's got a kid. The groundskeeper and men of one girl put him on the aisle. Groundskeeper. Oh, you're talking about Bill Clinton? Okay. I don't know. All I know is from the flight logs. I'm not saying it's impossible he found some other way to get there. It's very possible. You know, maybe the jet was being used by someone else when he went there. I know that there was a picture of him, supposedly, that people think is him. And when I saw the picture, it looked like him, like basically topless and getting a massage from some girl. That it looks like it's probably him, but it's hard to know the age of the girl. And I don't know the location. You know, people speculate where it is. And it was certainly not, I mean, the girl didn't look Asian. Let's put it that way. So, you know, it doesn't seem like it was from his trip to Thailand. Remember that guy who live streamed himself dropping a deuce on Nancy's driveway? True patriot. Yeah, well, there you go. Joe, it's pronounced. Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. Apparently, he's attended some competitions and sat in as a judge. Power. Family show. That's funny, and I appreciate that you kept it for those who are still innocent. They remain innocent because I shouldn't know what that means, and yet somehow I do. I guess it's too many episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That is why I actually understood. I actually understood that. All right, I'm gonna break away from this for a moment. We're gonna break away because he's boring. And hearing him try to rip on Vance is kind of stupid. I want to share with you a couple of memes here. This one is actually this is pretty funny. This I think is old. I think this one is 4 years old. Thank you so much, Lesko. My soul needs saving. So I want to share with you a couple of funny memes before we get to before they get Tim, get Prince Tim, who's still a frog. Before we wheel him on out there, we're not wheeling him. He'll come jumping out enthusiastically if history is any indicator. So I wanted to share this meme with you because I thought this one was classic.
Rashida Tlaib, all in favor?
Yeah. We need the dudes.
Good. Rashida Tlaib is now pledged to Delta Chow Kai. Next slide, please, Nancy. Just a minute. Just settle down. This is Acacia Cortez. She's a communist from my home in New York.
Okay. This girl is a real zero. That's true. Just think back to when you guys were freshmen, huh? Schiff, you had a face like a pepperoni pizza, right? And Maxine here. Everybody thought that she was brain damaged. I myself am so obnoxious, the senators used to beat me up once a week. So this girl is a total loser? Well, let me tell you about when I grew up in Kenya.
I state your name.
I state your name.
Do hereby pledge allegiance to the frat.
Do hereby pledge allegiance to the frat.
With liberty and fraternity for all.
Amen.
That was from Bad Liberals. I thought you'd appreciate that. Let's see. Are they bringing him on out now? Are they bringing him on out? The feature, the star of the night? Are they finally bringing him?
Part of a cause that brings joy, as Kamala Harris has tried to do these last weeks. That's the argument he's making, and other Democratic stars as well.
David, it is.
Ugh. Gosh. They're so slow. They're so slow. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to give you another meme. I'm going to keep you all entertained. I got to keep them entertained. What was this? Oh, this is when a 9-year-old takes over foreign policy. Kamala's speechwriter. Oh, this is good. This one was pretty good.
Kamala, I said it's your homework for you. Suck my sweet balls, bitch.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
That was great. That was great. That was pretty good. This one was okay. I'm not going to overhype. This one was okay. Not bad. But that's we can move past this. I never understood Monty Python's whole weird cartoon thing. Like I was like, I don't know what's happening now. I don't know what this is. I don't know what you're doing. This is just weirdness. This doesn't look like it belongs here. What the hell is happening? I don't understand. What is happening? What is happening? That's what happens when I see this is the DNC, the Democratic National Convention. I'm expecting Dr. Teeth from the Muppets to make an appearance any second. Hey, everybody. We'll see Animal on drums. What the hell? Prince is rolling in his grave at this rendition of Let's Go Crazy. He's rolling. He's like, what did I do to deserve this? This is terrible. My gosh, this is not good. This is not good. What's happening? This is the Democratic National Convention right now. Oh my God. Wow. I guess they're getting very excited for Tim to come out. This is what we should expect when he comes out. You want to know what we should expect when he comes on out? Because you might not have seen him speak before. Let me share with you what we should expect when he comes out.
Point it out.
I love this. This is my favorite one. Oh, God, I can see this over and over again. I think this is friggin' awesome. He's weird.
Point it out.
It really is taking off Richard Simmons. Oh, my God. I don't know. I think that's funny. I don't know if he's going to do that tonight. We don't know. There's no way to know for sure. But that's what's coming soon. Tampon Tim Walz about to make his appearance. You should be celebrating now also, because we are nearing the zenith of Kamala Harris's popularity. This is it. The cratering is about to come. The cratering is just about to come. Oh, they're bringing out Nancy Klobuchar. Her voice actually makes it to her voice. I'll play this. I'm going to play Nancy. Her voice sounds. I feel like I'm like allergic to her voice. It's like it's like nails on a chalkboard. I'm like, wow, I can't imagine having to listen to this.
In support of our next Vice President, Tim Walz. In Minnesota, we trust a coach who turned a team that was 0-27 into state champions. In Minnesota, we trust a hunter who has stood in a deer stand in 10-degree weather. In Minnesota, we trust a candidate.
Okay. Yeah. Do you trust them when they're socialists? What do you trust them to make sure that your boys have an adequate supply of tampons? Do you? I mean, do you trust them when they claim that they're command major sergeants? Do you trust them then also? Are those the ones you trust? Are they? Oh my God. This is it. We're nearing the end. This is the end of the crescendo for Kamala. Oh God.
Chicken dinner when their son was born. That's what we do in America. We look out for our neighbors. Tim has been doing that his whole life, on the farm and in the factory, with his students and his fellow service members.
Why does she sound like she's crying? Her voice just sounds like Tim was bringing chicken dinner to people.
To take on the price of gas than a guy who could pull over to help change your tire.
Take on the price of gas with his price gouging. Let's follow Venezuela scheme. He's going to take on the price of gas. It's like it's so convoluted. It's so convoluted that we're not going to tell you any way that's actually going to work to help fix things that's historically worked at all. We're just going to tell you they're going to fix things and the other guy's bad. They're going to fix it. How? But they're going to fix it because, you know, he was a really good football coach. So that means we should trust him that he understands that he understands how to deal with the whole Ukraine crisis and send billions more to them.
Tim has delivered paid leave, school lunches,
tampons,
and the biggest tax cut in Minnesota history.
Really?
A Democrat
that one I have to
from
check
a red
out.
district in a purple state. Tim has brought Minnesota together.
Minnesota is a purple state. Minnesota is a purple state. I want you to Google right now. Google right now. Because you'll probably be surprised if I didn't bring it up in this context. Google which state has not voted red in an election for the longest period of time. In other words, if you go back, last election, 2 elections, 3 elections, when do you think Minnesota is? And if you want to look at them as a potential red state, let's try to figure out the last time Minnesota voted red. Because I'll tell you this much. In 1984, they were the only state in the country that was blue. A purple state. It's a very purple state. Very purple. What a big win. Big win. Big win. Oh, what a big win. And ever since then, they voted blue every time. Every time. I think it's more than 30 years. That's because, like I said, since before 1984. So that's already 40 years. 10 elections in a row. Blue, 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 blue.
Walz!
That's
Senator
Amy Klobuchar
making the case for Kamala Harris.
That's Amy Klobuchar from the Senate, Minnesota senator, Democrat, obviously. I thought they're bringing out Tim Walz. Oh my God, is this his son? The mouth looks like the same crazy huge mouth. This looks like that's got to be Tim's son because they both have massive mouths. Look at how big.
I grew up next door to the Walzes in Mankato.
Like I said, it's like a frog.
Mr. Walz was also my geography teacher and my coach.
Not my dad.
Not for high school football, but for 7th grade basketball and track. So what was a high school football coach doing?
This is
coaching
definitely
7th
his
grade
son.
basketball and track. Well,
all right, I don't need to hear about it. That has to be. That has to. No other human like gene pool has a mouth that large. That's the only reason I'm guessing this. I don't know anything about his family, but this. I mean, no other human gene pool has a mouth that looks like it could swallow a cantaloupe, a whole cantaloupe. There just isn't. God. You're gonna see it. You're gonna once you recognize that he looks like a frog. Once you hear it, you can't unsee it. Here we go. Oh my God, this is so sad.
Members of the
they all got their tampons.
Coach Walz took to the championship. We had a suspicion that they would be making an appearance tonight.
Oh my God. He wasn't even a coach? He wasn't? They were gaslighting on that too? They gaslit me on that? He wasn't even the coach? They always slow in the senior center? Oh, that's why it's taking so long? Someone see the camouflage hats. She's a friend of a girl you have a crush on, so you have to tolerate her hairy knuckles. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
leaders we need.
Oh my God.
We want the people in charge to be genuine, compassionate.
Genuine. They can't be honest about their rank, but they're genuine.
Fit this description. The kind of people who display quiet leadership by helping kids pay for their lunches. By bringing teams together to believe in each other.
Maybe that would explain it. By taxing everyone unrealized gains in perpetuity. And now we know what the boys need tampons for. Insulation in their deer blinds in -degree temp. Maybe. To me, he looks like Don Rickles, only not funny. Yeah, Donald Rickles with like just a bigger mouth. Tagging an ex-post is YouTube safe, and due to the DNC has made the meme talking about his wife's African-American boyfriend and understanding the struggle in real. All right. That I gotta find. Let me see. Let's see if I'll try and grab that before. Let me try and grab that real quick. Let's pull that up real quick.
What brought you out here today? No, listen, my name is Noah Shorts. I use he, they pronouns. Like, I'm just really excited that we have like the first Black woman that could be the president of the United States. And, you know, like my wife, right? We're in a polyamorous relationship. The lover that my wife took is African American. And like, I've learned so much about the struggle that people of color go through as a result of my wife's boyfriend. And so I'm excited to really do my part to show solidarity for my marginalized communities. And like, the best way to do that is to...
It is... Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Harris. Right now, my wife is busy with 4. She's sitting on a white couch surrounded by 5 black dudes because we're polyamorous. And I learned so much from them. Oh my God. I can't. Shiloh, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? Oh my God.
To get the first woman of color to be the commander-in-chief, and I'm really excited. I'm so pumped.
This is even better than when I watched my wife riding a train. Because I don't have to sit in a corner in a chair. I can actually jump up and down now.
Were you this pumped and excited when Joe Biden was the nominee? I mean, listen, I would vote for a corpse over voting for Donald Trump because he's a disgusting fascist white supremacist pig.
Oh! this African beret. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so priceless.
But now, we get to really make history. We have, like I said, we have the first woman of color to be president of the United States. And our country, it was founded on the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Really? It's not anywhere in the Constitution.
And in Kamala Harris, there's nothing embodies those values more than a Kamala Harris presidency. So I'm pumped.
Maybe the hat is to cover the scars from his lobotomy. Maybe that's why he's got the hat on. He's got this big, massive crater in his skull. He takes that thing off, and you just see a massive indentation there. Wow.
I'm ready. I am so.
This is even better than the first time I learned about Puerto Ricans. My God, this is great.
Excited. I'm a proud white dude for Kamala Harris, baby. Let's go.
And he's the typical white dude for Kamala Harris. He is the typical white dude for Kamala Harris. Let me make sure I'm not missing out on good. I don't know what's happening now. Is she talking again? Is this live? This isn't live. No, it's not live. It's just so stupid.
Woo! Have you seen any excitement at a Democratic event in this stadium? No, listen, this is amazing. You can't generate. I couldn't see any more excitement. The only way there could be any more excitement is if maybe you had an artist or a celebrity performing or opening for Kamala, but no, this is amazing. This is celebrity level of excitement.
Oh my God. He's the perfect Democrat.
A rock star. And then, the thing that I'm the happiest about when it comes to Kamala Harris presidency.
So you figure it's gonna get a lot of black dudes all pumped up. That means that his relationship's gonna get pumped up.
It's the economy, and I'm really excited about how she finally wants to put a cap on.
She hasn't been around for the last 3.5 years.
Prices at the grocery store, and look, even if price controls, may lead to shortages of food and basic goods, the shortages will lead to rationing, and rationing that leads to equity, and we need to be in more equitable places.
Maybe he's a troll. Maybe he's like an Alex Stein. Shortages will lead to rationing, and now I'm an equitable place.
To dismantle our legacy of white supremacy. So thank you so much for hearing my voice and so many voices like me.
I really think that guy could be a parody. I think that guy might be a parody. That's got to be a parody.
What brought you out here today?
That's got to be a parody. Now look at this. The frog is up there. All right.
We're all here tonight for one beautiful, simple reason. We love this country. So thank you to all of you here in Chicago and all of you watching at home tonight. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your determination. And most of all, thank you for bringing the joy to this fight. Now, I grew up in Butte, Nebraska, a town of 400 people. I had 24 kids in my high school class.
Nice.
And none of them went to Yale. But I'll tell you what.
I guess going to Yale is a
growing up
bad
in a
thing.
small town like that, you learn how to take care of each other. That family down the road, they may not think like you do. They may not pray like you do. They may not love like you do, but they're your neighbors. And you look out for them, and they look out for you. Everybody belongs, and everybody has a responsibility to contribute. For me, it was serving in the Army National Guard. I joined up
what rank
2
were you?
days after my 17th birthday.
What rank were you?
And I proudly wore our nation's uniform for 24 years. My dad, a Korean War era Army veteran, died of lung cancer a couple years later. He left behind a mountain of medical debt. Thank God for Social Security survivor benefits. And thank God for the GI Bill that allowed my dad and me to go to college, and millions of other Americans.
Yeah, well, your mind got poisoned in college, that's for sure. That's where you learn your
Eventually,
socialism.
like the rest of my family, I fell in love with teaching. Three out of 4 of us married teachers. I wound up teaching social studies and coaching football at Mankato West High School. Go Scarlets! We ran a 44 defense. We played through to the whistle on every single play, and we even won a state championship.
I don't believe he was the coach.
Never closed the yearbook, people. But it was those players and my students who inspired me to run for Congress. They saw in me what I had hoped to instill in them, a commitment to the common good, an understanding that we're all in this together, and the belief
and by all means,
that a
he's gonna
single
take
person
it.
can make a real difference for their neighbors. So there I
If
was,
that single person is a tyrant.
40-something high school teacher with little kids, zero political experience, and no money, running in a deep red district. But you know what? Never underestimate a public school teacher. Never.
They all have these miraculous against the odds.
My neighbors in
Against
Congress.
the odds. Oh, it was against the odds.
And I learned an awful
And
lot.
it never is.
I learned how to work across
never
the
is.
aisle on issues like growing the rural economies and taking care of veterans. And I learned how to compromise without compromising my values.
That's right. When I locked
Then I
everyone
came back
away, I compromised
to serve
and
as
said, you can
governor,
stay till 6
and we
p.m.
got right to work,
outdoors.
making a difference in our neighbors' lives. We cut taxes for the middle class.
We shot paintballs at people who stepped out of their
We
houses.
passed paid family and medical leave. We invested in fighting crime and affordable housing.
Except during the summer of
cost
love.
of prescription
Except in the summer of love when we said, hey, let them burn it down.
drugs and help people escape the kind of medical debt that nearly sank my family. And we made sure that every kid in our state gets breakfast and lunch every day.
They weren't getting it before?
So while
They weren't getting it
other
before?
states were banning books from their schools, we were banishing hunger.
We were giving our kids we were teaching our 7-year-olds Kama Sutra.
Productive freedom. Because in Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and the personal choices they make.
In Minnesota, you can kill a baby 3 minutes after it gets out of the womb.
Even if we wouldn't make those same choices for ourselves, we've got a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
unless you want to walk outside when there's a pandemic.
And that includes IVF and fertility treatments.
Which Trump promised that he's going to protect.
And this is personal for Gwen and I.
Oh, is it personal for you? It's personal.
If you've never experienced the hell that is infertility, I guarantee you know somebody who has.
Okay, I got to pause here. Because he's repeating. We'll come back to him. I got to just pause here for 1 second. Because I got to just share something with you. I almost shared it earlier, and then I didn't. But I'm going to share it now because he's about to repeat the same lie that Michelle said. The same stupid lie that Michelle said. So 40 seconds before he goes off about IVF and how important it is to protect that. Let's just check this out real quick.
Taking away our freedom to control our bodies, the freedom to become a mother through IVF like I did.
We want to make it easier for mothers and families to have babies, not harder.
Oh.
That includes supporting the availability of fertility treatments like IVF in every state in America.
Oh.
Like the overwhelming majority of Americans, including the vast majority of Republicans, conservatives, Christians, and pro-life Americans.
Oh.
I strongly support the availability of IVF for couples who are trying to have a precious baby.
Oh. Now you talk to us, Tim. Tell us about how it's your mission to make sure you save IVF. That's why we have to elect you.
And I can remember praying each night for a phone call. The pit in your stomach when the phone had rang, and the absolute agony when we heard the treatments hadn't worked. It took Gwen and I years, but we had access to fertility treatments. And when our daughter was born, we named her Hope. Hope, Gus, and Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love you.
I love you, Socialist Dad. I love you, Socialist Dad. Thank you. Oh,
I'm
God.
letting you
Thank
in
you for making us rich.
on how we started a family.
Part of the top 1%.
Because this is a big part about what this election is about. Freedom. When Republicans use the word freedom, they mean that the government should be free to invade your doctor's office.
When I mean freedom, I mean I'm going to lock you in your houses as soon as we claim that there's a pandemic.
Corporations, free to pollute your air and water. And banks.
Nobody means that. Nobody.
Banks, free to take advantage of customers.
This is such gaslighting.
But when we Democrats talk about freedom, we mean the freedom to make a better life for yourself and the people that you love. Freedom to make your own healthcare decisions.
Kill those babies.
Your kids' freedom to go to school without worrying about being shot dead in the hall.
And thank you for pointing this out. There was the Feeding Our Future scam in Minnesota. What was it, $250 million during COVID that was stolen because he neglected, because his agency neglected to oversee it. Thank you for reminding me that about that, Daryl. Yeah, feeding our kids. Well, at least sending money there, even though it never reaches the kids, because I'm too inept to make sure that it actually gets there and that we're not being scammed by some scam company. Because I'm too incompetent to actually make sure that the job gets done.
Look, I know guns.
Thank you so much.
I'm a veteran. I'm a hunter. And I was a better shot than most Republicans in Congress, and I got the trophies to prove it.
I just never had to fire at a person. I never had to fire at a person.
I believe in the Second Amendment, but I also believe our first responsibility is to keep our kids safe.
As if taking away guns is going to do that.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah, let's make sure.
The responsibility we have to our kids, to each other, and to the future that we're building together, in which everyone is free to build the kind of life they want. But not everyone has that same sense of responsibility. Some folks just don't understand what it takes to be a good neighbor. Take Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
Oh, here we go. Let's bring out the hate. Let's bring out the hate. I haven't given you a single policy. I just tell you about things I supposedly did in my past and things that are important to me. I can't tell you anything about how we're going to get anything done. I have no idea how we're going to get it done, or at least whatever ideas I have, I don't want to tell you because that's going to freak you out. Instead, let me tell you about how terrible Donald Trump is, because you need to know, because you might not know how I feel about Donald Trump. I'm assuming Daryl here is a Minnesota resident. He seems to know a lot about Tim Walsh. He seems to know a lot about him. We're going to show the progress here.
Their Project 2025 will make things much, much harder for people who are just trying to live their lives. They spent a lot of time pretending they know nothing about this. But look, I coached high school football long enough to know, and trust me on this.
Oh, yeah.
When somebody takes the time to draw up a playbook,
trust me on this. When somebody says, trust me on this, they're full of crap. Trust me on that.
And we know if these guys get back in the White House, they'll start jacking up the costs on the middle class. They'll repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Oh, yeah.
They'll gut
Why didn't that happen
Social Security and Medicare.
Why didn't that happen last time?
And they will ban abortion across this country with or without Congress.
You're an absolute liar.
Here's the
that could not happen, even if it was like even if no matter if he was a crazy, like if he was the staunchest pro-life person in the world, it would be literally impossible for him to do it. And if he did, the Supreme Court would overturn it. So you're a liar. I think that most of them know he's full of crap. They just hope he can sell it well.
It's an agenda nobody asked for.
It's also not their agenda. I'm just pretending it is. I'm just going to pretend it is. It's like they think about what's happening here. They can't even come up with stuff about him that he's actually said and done that's true that they find offensive. I need to point this out because I think people don't even think about this, okay? All the times they gaslight about Trump's policies or statements he made where they literally just make stuff up. If he was really as terrible, why not just say what he did? Why would you have to make stuff up? Why would you have to do that? Just say, here's the video of him doing it. Instead, they have to like twist his because they know that everything Trump says is something that resonates with 90% of Americans. That's why they have to gaslight. Oh, he's all about Project 2025. Oh, he's trying to ban IVF. Oh, he's going to make abortion illegal across the entire country. It's like they can't actually play something that they say and get everyone to boo. Instead, we're just going to gaslight you, and you're going to swallow it because that's what you want to do.
It's an agenda that serves nobody except the richest and the most extreme amongst us. And it's an agenda that does nothing for our neighbors in need. Is it weird? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But it's also wrong. And it's dangerous. It's not just me saying so. It's Trump's own people.
Really?
They were with him for 4 years.
Really?
They're warning us that the next 4 years will be much, much worse.
Much worse.
You know, when I was teaching every year, we'd elect a student.
We can't really figure out how it was bad before COVID hit us, but they're warning us there's going to be much worse, much worse.
Body president. And you know what? Those teenagers could teach Donald Trump a hell of a lot about what a leader is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Leaders don't spend all day insulting people and blaming others. Leaders do the work.
That's what you're doing now.
So I don't know about you.
That's literally
I'm ready to turn the page on these guys. So go ahead. Say it with me. We're not going back.
Oh, so that's the new theme.
We've got something better.
They're trying to come up with a slogan that works.
It starts with our candidate, Kamala Harris. From her first day as a prosecutor, as a district attorney, as an attorney general, as a United States senator, and then our vice president, she's fought on the side of the American people. She's taken on the predators and fraudsters. She's taken down the transnational gangs, and she stood up to powerful corporate interests. She has never hesitated to reach across that aisle if it meant improving your lives. And she's always done it with energy, with passion, and with joy. Folks,
nothing.
We've got a chance to make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States.
It's horrifying. It's horrifying.
But I think we owe it to the American people to tell them exactly what she'd do as president before we ask them for their votes.
Oh, okay.
So this is the part, clip and save it and send it to your undecided relatives.
Oh, good. This is very exciting. Everyone's very excited. I want to hear what's going to come out of his mouth now. All right. Here we go. Let's go to the policies.
So they know. If you're a middle-class family or a family trying to get into the middle class, Kamala Harris is going to cut your taxes.
How? What's she going to do?
If you're getting squeezed by prescription drug prices, Kamala Harris is going to take on Big Pharma.
How? What's she going to do?
If you're hoping to buy a home, Kamala Harris is going to help make it more affordable.
And drive up the price of the home. That's what she's going to do. That's exactly what she's going to do. Everyone knows this. They don't have anything. They have nothing. This is what he's opening with. He's opening with, this is our policies. I'm not telling you what the policies are. I'm just telling you in general what's going to happen. I'm not telling you how she's going to do it. And what he's saying, what we've seen so far, is that they're literally going to make it much, much worse. And everyone knows it. I'm not the one saying this. The Democrats are saying this. This is what this is what the Washington Post is saying. Unbelievable. They have nothing.
And no matter who you are, Kamala Harris is going to stand up and fight for your freedom to live the life that you want to lead.
Zero policy so far.
Because that's what we want for ourselves, and it's what we want for our neighbors. You know, you might not know it, but I haven't given a lot of big speeches like this. But I have given a lot of pep talks. So let me finish with this, team.
Seriously.
It's the fourth quarter. We're down a field goal, but we're on offense and we've got the ball. We're driving down the field.
Yeah.
And boy, do we have the right team.
Yeah,
Kamala Harris is tough. Kamala Harris is experienced, and Kamala Harris is
incompetent. And incompetent. Incompetent socialist.
Our job for everyone watching is to get in the trenches and do the blocking and tackling.
Apparently, he thinks he coached the Vikings. Remember when I led the Vikings to a Super Bowl win? You remember that one? I led the Vikings to a Super Bowl win. The only team that never won a Super Bowl.
1 inch at a time. 1 yard at a time.
He's trying to steal this from some football movie he saw.
Time. 1 phone call at a time. 1 door knock at a time. 1 $5 donation at a time. Look, we got 76 days. That's nothing. There'll be time to sleep when you're dead. We're going to leave it on the field. That's how we'll keep moving forward. That's how we'll turn the page on Donald Trump. That's how we'll build a country where workers come first.
Literally gave zero
and
policies.
Housing are human
Zero
rights.
policies.
And the government.
I expected him to come out there and mention the $6,000 tax rebate for kids that they're talking about giving. That they were talking about giving, which was another policy lifted from Trump, because first Trump came out and said, I'm going to give $5,000 back for people who have children, and Kamala came back with, I'm going to give $6,000. I'm going to give $6,000 because she has no insights. No insights.
Stays the hell out of your bedroom.
Oh my God. This is so bad.
That's how we make America a place where no child is left hungry, where no community is left behind, where nobody gets told they don't belong.
Nobody has freedom.
That's how we're gonna fight
none of your neighbors are able to walk out of their houses after 7 o'clock.
And as the next president of the United States always says, when we fight, thank you. God bless.
That's pretty short. That's pretty short for the featured speaker.
Minnesota making his case. He said clearly that he hasn't given many big speeches like this in his lifetime, but he's given a lot of pep talks. John Carl, you talked about the teleprompters that they brought into the House even before he even knew he was the chosen one by Kamala Harris, just to practice. Looks.
He literally said nothing other than Trump is a bad man. I remember how important it is. It's his special needs kid. I'm only saying that because I don't believe he's actually special needs. He's just a product. He's just a product of Tampon Tim Walz. Lord. That was he's fiery. He's fiery and saying nothing. I'm gonna tell you a lot of things that nothing's gonna come out of my mouth. You're not gonna know anything more than you knew before I got up here and said anything, and I'm gonna say it with a lot of enthusiasm, because that we're gonna win, and that's what we're gonna do, because they stink and they're evil, and we're good and they're evil, and that's why we're gonna win inch by inch. So bad. Oh, they literally have nothing. I thought they were going to come up with something. I thought they were going to come up with maybe some policies going to be unleashed, maybe something, some new ideas they came up with. I don't know. Something. They must be freaking out about. They must be freaking out about RFK. They must be freaking out. Yeah, it is advertising 101. Amen. So some of you might be wondering, I mentioned in my seems to have a couple more names. Let me see what I got here. Speaking of Minnesota, this is Ilhan Homer when she gets back home. This is Ilhan Homer when she gets home.
Some people did something. Some people did something.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh, God. Ilhan Homer. I'm probably going to have to edit this out afterwards, but this is going around millions of times. A lot of people... I just need to share it with you. I'm almost definitely going to have to cut this out. So if you're watching this afterwards, sorry. It's only 36 seconds long, so you're not missing much. You're not missing much. It's this meme. In case some of you didn't see it yet, I thought it was Anyway, I'm definitely have to slice that out. I was like, I've seen it like a dozen times at least, and I was like, I really need to share this with my audience at some point. Let me save this one. Let me say this. Yeah. She wants to make him. Trump wants to make America great again. Kamala wants to make America California again. This is her hometown of Oakland. Beautiful. Unbelievable. That's what Kamala's hoping for America. That's what socialism brings. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? So yesterday, I have a couple more funny memes I want to share with you all. But first, I want to share with you developments with RFK. Most you know he's the independent candidate who is, got some level of popularity, at least 6%, they say, of the vote is what he was eating up. This is what he dropped this morning. In case you're wondering, why is he dropping out? Why is he dropping out? He dropped this video this morning, which we should watch together.
Hey, everybody. I'm at the state courthouse in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This morning, I'm supposed to be in a meeting with community leaders on the south side of Chicago.
Work will make you free, Bebop. Work will make you free. We're going to tax you on unrealized gains to the 6K tax rate they'll give you. Yeah. Taxing on unrealized gains will destroy America. Destroy America.
Today talking.
And by the way, someone shared with me a clip which was explaining that the way that they came up, that Biden keeps talking about how billionaires are paying only 8%. And the way he came up with that number, I think it was Kathy shared this with me. So thank you, Kathy, for that. The way they came up with that number of 8%, because I was like, how is that possible? They're all paying they pay once you reach above I think 400,000, it goes up 32%. What are you talking about? The way they came up with that number is some creative accounting. And I just want to explain it to you and why this is so important. A little serious talk for just 2 minutes. Okay. They claim that billionaires are paying 8%. How do they come to that number when we know that they're paying considerably higher, at least for stuff they take as income? They want to tax unrealized capital gains. Those of you who are not in economics and don't know what that means. So let's say you put your money in the stock market and it goes up and you leave it in the stock market. That is now, let's say you have a lot of money, you throw a lot of money in the stock market, you throw $30 million in the stock market and you see growth of 10%. So you gain $3 million. Okay. So now you don't have to pay taxes on that until you actually draw it out. You don't draw it out, you don't pay tax on it. It's considered an unrealized. You haven't realized that financial benefit. Since you haven't realized it, you don't pay tax on it. When you draw it out, that's when you pay tax on it. Biden is saying it's not just on that, though, because if, let's say, you build a company and the company starts growing in value. So now when you grow in value, and your company is worth more, that is also an unrealized capital gain, which you don't pay tax on. So if your company goes up in net value from $3 million to $30 million or 50, you really blossom into some multi-billion-dollar company and you don't draw your stock out of it, you don't have to pay tax on it. So they're calculating all those unrealized gains and they're saying, okay, so you paid income tax on this part, you didn't pay on the unrealized gains, so you should have been paying. So from this entire total of what you made last year, you're only paying 8% of that. That's how they come up with that 8% number. The reason, because Democrats are trying to push harder and harder to tax on unrealized gains. The problem with that is this. If you force people to pay taxes on unrealized gains, they don't have the cash in hand. So what are they supposed to do to come up with that money? If you have a company that balloons from being worth $3 million to being worth $100 million, and you haven't pulled out of it the money, so in that case, you don't have any way of getting that $100 million, but they want you to pay taxes on that $100 million at a rate of 32%. So they're going to want you to pay $30 million in taxes, which is $30 million you don't have. What are you supposed to do? So The only thing you can do is start borrowing money or sell off some of what you have just so you could pay taxes, which that's not a way to run a productive company. That all of a sudden I need to start paying the government money for cash I don't have on hand. I have to come up with the cash as if the government is like some loan shark, that all of a sudden I owe them the money that I have to pay now. Otherwise, I'm going to be facing penalties because I supposedly have that money, even though I don't actually have it. So what that will invariably lead to is a lack of growth of corporations, which means these companies, which are helping, create more jobs, create more opportunities, and present new industry and new innovation to our society to make society better. They're either going to have to slow down in their growth so that they can borrow money, because when you're borrowing money, instead of using that money and reinvesting it into the company, Instead, they're forced basically to use that money and just give it to the governments, and the government can start parsing it around to different people they want to give it to. It is destroying capitalism. That's what it will do. And that's why when he starts saying, pay their fair share, and all that other nonsense that you'll hear from Biden, and you will definitely hear from Kamala, you will definitely hear from Tim Walz, because they are big advocates in huge government and small corporations. You will definitely hear it over and over again. It would be the most destructive thing that this planet can possibly imagine. It would be so grossly irresponsible, and anyone who's being honest about what the obvious ramifications of such a tax would be would say to you, how can that not retard the growth of a developing, flourishing company? It has to. So that's how you're going to make America a better country? Is that how you're going to help invest in the future, by basically slowing down the development of the most flourishing companies? It's so backward. It's stupid. It's obviously stupid. But this way, I can go to my constituents and say, I made them pay their fair share. It is the most ludicrous concept in the world. But that's how they came up with that 8% number. So I wanted to just explain that to you so you can all better understand how they come up with that ridiculous figure, how Biden came up with a ridiculous figure, because we're likely to hear it many times over the next several years, every time Democrats get up to speak. They're going to be pushing to tax unrealized capital gains. Anyway, but let's get back here to RFK. Let's get back to it. Start deducting unrealized losses. Why not? It's the stupidest thing in the world.
About criminal justice reform, that I had to come here because the Democratic Party is suing me in Pennsylvania. And by the way, tomorrow I'm going to Mineola, Long Island, because they're suing me there too. They're suing me all over the country to try to keep me off the ballot. Unfortunately, in some of these states, we're running into judges who are highly politicized and who are very, very sympathetic, let me put it that way, to the DNC. And today, the judge was less than sympathetic to our side. I came down from Boston this morning. I was supposed to get here last night. We had the whole day set aside for my testimony and for the testimony of Nick Branna, who is our ballot access director, who stayed the night here in Harrisburg. But I was supposed to come last night, but my plane got canceled because of weather. So I got up at 4 o'clock this morning, and I made it here by 11:30. But the judge said that because I was late, that I was not going to get a chance to testify. So my testimony, which was critical in this case, was excluded, and she wouldn't even let Nick Branna testify, even though he was sequestered. So he wasn't supposed to be in the courtroom. He was sequestered a few minutes away at a hotel, and he could.
Now, to be fair, even an impartial judge will sometimes be very strict about time. That if you're not there, you show up 11:30. If you're supposed to be there at 9:30, court frequently will start at 10. They're not going to wait an hour and a half for you. But if there's another person who come up there and testify for an evidentiary hearing, and Nick Branna, it's weird that they wouldn't call him up, and that would give RFK more time to get to court. So I'm curious about what the heck happened here. They said we're not going to let Nick Branna testify.
Would have been there in minutes, literally. But the judge said because he wasn't there at that time that she wasn't going to let him testify. We may lose this case on the state level.
That's lawyer speak for we're going to lose this case, but I don't want to tell you that yet. So he's basically saying we're not going to be on the ballot in Pennsylvania.
Level, we will definitely win it on appeal.
But the appeal will likely come after November.
And here's why. There's two cases that are exactly.
Or if it does come on, then you got to get on to, even if it comes on an expedited basis, which, you know, is obviously grounds to get it on an expedited basis. But even if you get it on an expedited basis, you're starting to get close in time to where you can physically get his name printed on the ballot, right? They got to start sending ballots out.
On point at our Supreme Court cases. One of them is from 40 years ago. It's called Anderson versus Celebrezzi. And that case, you remember John Anderson, some of you, who was an independent who ran against Ronald Reagan. And he announced his candidacy after the conventions. And so he was very late, and he was late getting on some state court ballots. It was the deadline had already passed. The deadline passes before the conventions in many states. And so those states said, you can't get on. You missed the statutory deadline. The Supreme Court said you can't do that. That the 12th Amendment says there's only 3 requirements for being president: that you're 35 years of age, you were born here, and that you're currently a citizen.
Now, I haven't looked up Anderson versus Celebrezzi that he cites there, so I can't tell you about the accuracy of what he's saying. But now, what he's trying to say doesn't really make sense to me, because, okay, you also have to, states have a plenary authority as to how they run their elections. So if they give you a deadline, you know, deadlines have to be met. You can't show up there a week before the election and say, throw me on the ballot. You know, here, I qualify. So, you know, the question is exactly, you know, the scenarios where you are allowed to compel them to bend their rules. And like I said, Anderson versus Celebrezzi may spell that out better. And he's trying to give this to a wide audience, not to an attorney. But these are the questions I would ask him if he was sitting next to me.
That's it. The states are not allowed to put.
And RPP, I saw that you mentioned I should send a message out to Nick, who's going to be streaming tonight at 12:15. So I'm going to, when I'm done here, which is probably going to be like in a half hour, so I'll send you over to him. Drop him a note.
Additional burdens on that would create a patchwork across the country. That case said there's only one national election. And if states are allowed to exclude people arbitrarily from the ballots.
All right. Well, anyway, so bottom line is, I agree with you. I'm going to go to the short version. So bottom line is they're having this problem in state after state because the DNC is going after them, I think, in all 50 states to try and get him knocked off the ballot, which indicates that the Democrats are very concerned that he's going to be eating into the Democrat vote. And this is a question: is whose vote is he eating more? Is he eating from Trump, or is he eating from Kamala? It's tough. It's a tough thing to figure out because he is more Democrat, but then he's also populist, which is more like Trump. So who are the voters? Where are his voters coming from? Are they coming from the Trump camp, or are they coming from the Democrat camp? It's unclear, but clearly by the fact that Democrats are going after him so aggressively, the Democrats are concerned that he's eating from theirs more than he's eating from Trump. So, but here, yesterday I covered a 30-second clip of Nicole Shanahan. This is the woman who RFK Jr. picked to be his running mate. Here's a lengthier clip where she explains why they're having struggles.
I did not put in tens of millions of dollars to be a
She's a billionaire, by the way.
spoiler candidate. I put in tens of $millions to win, to fix this country, to do the right thing. I will say that Clear Choice, this PAC, this DNC aligned PAC that was created specifically to take us out, has spent millions of dollars to take us out. They have unfortunately turned us into a spoiler. And we don't want to be a spoiler. We wanted to win. We wanted a fair shot. The DNC made that impossible for us. They have banned us, shadow banned us, kept us off stages, manipulated polls, used lawfare against us, sued us in every possible state. They've even planted insiders into our campaign to disrupt it and to create actual legal issues for us.
You can see whether they be furies of the DNC at this point.
I mean, the extent by which the sabotage they've unleashed upon us, it's mind-blowing. I mean, we're still learning new ways that they have sabotaged us. I really wanted a fair shot at this election, and I believed in the America that a little girl pledged an allegiance to. And that is not where we are today. And it's not because of the Republican Party taking us out. It is exclusively because of the Democratic Party taking us out. And I am so disappointed I ever helped them. I am,
like all billionaires, she was a Democrat.
I'm so disappointed that I helped Chuck Schumer in that Georgia runoff secure a majority. It's probably one of the biggest mistakes of my life. And it's really devastating. So to answer your question, we are not spoilers. That was never our motivation. We really wanted a fair shot. I think had we had a fair shot, we would have won.
Which that sounds kind of crazy, but okay.
I still would love to see in the last 80 days of this election some miracle play out where we get a chance to debate. I don't think they're going to let us. You know, given this, I think we are taking a very serious look at making sure that the people that have corrupted our fair and free democracy. I
just want to point out, I do think that America would be a far healthier place if we split into 4 different parties. This is a good time for me to mention this because she's saying that they're not going to have a chance to debate. It sounds like a pipe dream, but clearly there's the uniparty of the left and the uniparty of the right, and then you have the progressives of the left and MAGA on the right. These are and within their own parties, MAGA and the uniparty hate each other. They can't stand each other. And the uniparty and progressives don't like each other. They can't stand each other either. So it's really a matter of like, okay, we don't want to be as losers like the independents, and that's why we stay in this party. But the ideologies of these different factions within each of these respective parties are very diametrically opposed from each other, very diametrically opposed, and constantly. So then when they ascend to power, there's this big clash. The only way that I can foresee that actually fixing itself is if the DNC and RNC can actually get on the same page. Say, you know what, we're going to split into 4. We're going to split into the neocons and MAGA. We'll split into the weird, the less weird Democrats and the more weird Democrats, and let the chips fall where they may. That's the only way I could, but I don't know how you would, I don't know where you would get that. Like, I don't know how such a thing would come to be. I understand where finishing would be good. And just going, MAGA going to libertarians and progressives going to green, that's just not realistic. It's just not. So I don't know how else that this gets fixed.
Do not end up in office in November. It's hard. I mean, it's really hard, Tom, to say these words because it's also acknowledging how bad things are.
Yeah, it's hard to hear the words. Do you guys see any path to victory at this point?
I mean, technically, if we can stay on the ballots, we've qualified for all the ballots now, which is like an enormous feat. Like you don't understand. The system was designed to, after Ross Perot, to keep this from ever happening again, and we accomplished it. So technically, we could win. We could absolutely win still. The problem is if you censor a candidate, as we've been censored, people don't get a chance to even hear us. So, there's two options that we're looking at.
And this is the part we heard
one
yesterday.
is
There's only 30
staying
seconds
in,
left.
forming that new party, but we run the risk of a Kamala Harris and Walz presidency because we draw votes from Trump, or we draw somehow more votes from Trump, or we walk away right now and join forces with Donald Trump and we walk away from that and we explain to our base why we're making this decision. Not easy.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. On the day it's time for you to drop out of the race, you're gonna feel a certain sting. That's pride. F pride. F pride. Where's Marcellus Wallace when we need him? Where is he when we need him? MAGA needs to ally with Nicole RFK and defeat this cult of baby killer. Democrats cheat at Monopoly. We all know how to treat people who cheat. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I'll give you some good news. Seems like that's a happening. Seems like that's a happening. Where are you? I got it here. What's something I want to come back to? That seems like it's a happening. Where? I have it here somewhere. Come on. Oh, here it is. You don't have it. RFK expected to drop out of race by end of week. Plans to endorse Trump, according to sources from ABC News. Reported this at 3:46 today. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is planning to drop out of the presidential race by the end of the week. Sources familiar with the decision tell ABC News. Sources tell ABC News that Kennedy plans to endorse Donald Trump. Bum 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 bum. When asked directly by ABC News if he will be endorsing the former president, Kennedy said, "I don't know and confirm or deny." Sorry, Robert. I had to. I'm running out of time. I don't know. Confirm. I will not confirm or deny that. He said that was that mean? Did I go too far? Did I go too far with that one? I will not confirm or deny that. So I'm going to translate this to you into English. That means I have not yet been promised the right job. That's what it means. I'm hoping to negotiate the right job. And if I tell you I'm going to do that, then I lose my leverage. That's what it means. We're not talking about any of that, he said. Sources question the decision is not yet finalized and could still change, with one source adding that Kennedy's hope is, in part, to finalize things quickly in order to try to blunt momentum from the Democratic National Convention. One possible scenario being discussed is for Kennedy to appear on stage with Trump at an event in Phoenix on Friday. Though the sources caution that Kennedy's thinking could always change, and sources close to Trump say no plan for Friday is finalized. Kennedy's campaign manager, Amaryllis Fox, emailed senior staff on Wednesday morning thanking them for their hard work, but indicated a decision on the way forward has not been made, a source familiar with email told ABC News. So that's the leader of the Kennedy campaign saying, yeah, the writing's on the wall. Quote, there are a couple potential paths forward, not only two, and I can bear witness to the care examination that Bobby has invested in consideration of each, Fox wrote, according to the source. The spokesperson for Kennedy posted on X that Kennedy will address the nation live on Friday to discuss his path forward, but offered no specifics. The spokesperson for the Trump campaign did not immediately respond to requests for comments. Kennedy told ABC News regarding the Democratic convention, Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris, quote, I think it was coronation. It's not democracy. Nobody voted. Who chose Kamala? It wasn't voters. He also complained about the way his campaign has been treated. Quote, she went in 4 weeks from being the worst liability. She went in 4 weeks from being the worst liability for the Democratic Party to the second coming of Jesus without giving one interview, without showing up for a debate, without a single policy that anyone thinks isn't ridiculous. It's not democracy. He's correct. He is quite correct. So it looks as if I made a prediction that yesterday. I said within a week he's going to be endorsing Trump. It's looking really good. We're talking about their policies. Kennedy talking about how she hasn't mentioned a policy yet that doesn't sound ridiculous. You probably haven't heard the most ridiculous one yet. All right, put on your thinking caps. Just ask yourself what sounds like the stupidest thing in the world. Try to come up with the stupidest thing in the world. If you know, don't write it in the chat. If you know where I'm going with this, don't write in the chat. But the stupidest, most ridiculous, think of the stupidest policy. I'm going to give you like 30 seconds. Think of the stupidest policy name that you can possibly come up with. And reality is going to be worse. Reality is going to be worse. I'll give you another 10 seconds. Come up with something insane. Like I don't know. Yeah, if you come up with, an all homeless cabinet. I don't know. Whatever you want. None of them going to top this. Biden-Harris official called for queering nuclear weapons in a 2023 article. Queering nuclear weapons. I don't know if they're going to embrace this, but this is what their official called for in 2023. One of Biden-Harris administration's latest Department of Energy hires previously called to surround discussion of U.S. nuclear policy with queer theory. Sneha Nair joined the department in February as a special assistant to the National Nuclear Security Administration. Included in her body of work is an article in the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists titled Queering Nuclear Weapons, How LGBTQ plus Inclusion Strengthens Security and Reshapes Disarming. Because I'm going to tell you something. As soon as the Russians hear that our nukes were made by a pansexual, they're like, oh, now we're screwed. Now we're really screwed. As soon as they hear that a furry is the one who was working on it, they're just going to like roll over. China's going to roll over. They're going to be like, oh my God, this was made by like some really angry furry. This was made by a wolf. It was made by a wolf. That article published during Pride Month 2023 described how disparaging tweets directed at a 2022 LGBT panel by the Vienna Center for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation showed a public belief that, quote, the relationship between queerness and nuclear policy is intended to push a social agenda rather than to address substantive issues. Of course, it's designed to push a social agenda. Otherwise, you wouldn't be talking about their sexuality, jackass. That's what it is. You know, I mean, people don't talk about the sexuality of straight folks. Why not? Because it's a weird thing to do. It's a weird thing to do, Tampon Tim. It's a weird thing to do. Why would anyone be talking about that? Somebody, you don't talk about the eye color of people who are involved. You don't talk about how many ears the people are involved. It's like, this is the thing about the alphabet community. It's like they want to try and treat it as if it's totally normal, but we need to talk about it all the time. If it was totally normal, you wouldn't need to talk about it at all. It's that simple. The fact that you need to talk about it shows that you're full of crap when you say it's totally normal. This Nair said prove that discrimination against queer people can undermine nuclear security and increase nuclear risk. This is why we need Admiral Rachel Levine. This is why you need some bald dude with a mustache and a dress and high heels. That's why you need it. That's why you need it. Because otherwise we're not safe. That's how we keep America safe. Nair continued explaining how non-diverse groups of decision makers are prone to groupthink. You are groupthink. There is nothing more groupthink than crazy progressives. Because as soon as you don't go along with what the group is thinking, you are thrown out of the group. It is the ultimate groupthink. Making them hostile to critical examination of baseline assumptions about how adversaries construct and identify nuclear threats and risks. Introducing LGBT people in nuclear policy discussions can widen the definition of perceived threats and increases security. See, this is what we can do. We're going to widen the definition. If we had a bunch of people who are actually, need safe spaces, then we can understand when there's a perceived, there's a perceived threat and make sure that we nuke anybody who sends out a mean tweet. We can nuke anyone who refuses to put pronouns in their bio because they're a threat. They're a threat. And that's how we'll increase security. Queer theory is also about rejecting binary choices and zero-sum thinking, such as the tenet that nuclear deterrence creates security and disarmament creates vulnerability. Indeed, queer theory helps us not only see the bad of a world with nuclear weapons, but also imagine the good of a world without them. The time to do better is now, she added, as the nuclear field continues to reflect on its legacy of exclusion and homogeneity. During this Pride Month, we as stakeholders, decision makers, and advocates for change should also realize our privilege of being able to openly discuss the challenges facing the LGBTQ plus community. Talk about someone who's so self-absorbed, so utterly clueless. This is what the Biden-Harris administration is all about. That's what they're all about right there. All about that. Bigger tent has been DGT's goal day one. And getting RFK in there would be great. Alex Jones say something about gay bombs. In the 1980s, there was a Maxwell Smart movie, which was like Smart and the Nude Bomb, or something like that. Sam Brinton, who was appointed as the head of spent nuclear fuel management at the Department of Energy, stole all those women's clothes. Pattern? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I promised you a couple more funny memes, and I intend to deliver. That's not funny. This is more of a nuke than it is funny, but I do have a funny one there.
Prices are still too high. As president, I will go after the bad actors, and I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food.
You dumb bitch. First of all,
oh, sorry. Language warning.
It's gouging, not gauging, you fucking idiot. Secondly, that's not why prices are so high. Prices are...
Did no one there notice that she said gauging instead of gouging?
Are so high. Prices are high because you and Colonel Fuckwit shut down energy production on your first fucking day in office.
Yeah,
oh, man. Shut up, asshole. We got it on video.
I don't know whose voice it is, but that voice sounds authoritative. It sounds knowledgeable.
When the price of fuel goes up, the price of food goes up, along with anything else that depends on the use of fuel for production or transportation, or both. Rather than address the root cause of the problem, this human penis pump is peddling communism.
It's very aggressive. The tone is very aggressive. Very aggressive. Very aggressive.
In the form of federally regulated price controls, which lead to massive starvation 100% of the time. We've seen this before. We've seen it in the Soviet Union, and we've seen it in Venezuela. In 2003, Hugo Chavez imposed price controls on food. By 2017, 93% of Venezuelans could not afford to eat. We've also seen it right here in our own country. In 2012, during Hurricane Sandy, the communist mayor of New York City, with his deformed 4-inch feet.
Bloomberg has deformed feet that are 4 inches long.
I did not know that. I never heard that before I saw this video. That's pretty funny. I never heard that before. Did you guys hear that before?
Imposed anti-gouging price controls on fuel. The result was a disastrous gasoline shortage, the likes of which they'd never seen. And we're seeing it happen right now.
Food is ridiculous. I've been homeless for a year now.
So if you want communist price controls on food, then vote for this dumb bitch. If you want the problem solved permanently, then vote for Donald Trump. It's literally that simple. Feast or famine, the choice is yours. And one more thing. If Kamala's mouth is moving, she's fucking lying.
You ever watch her laugh? She's crazy. No, she's crazy. She's nuts.
This has been another public service announcement, paid for by the Dilly Meme team.
So there you go.
That was great. That was great. I figured you guys would enjoy that. You're welcome. I got one more funny one for you. There's a lot. This is another crank yankers type of deal. I think this is the last one I got for you. Yeah, this is the last one. I should mention, by the way, before I share this last one with you, channel analytics. I'm still under 102. Can't go up. I haven't started putting out videos. I put out a 98-second video today that I did last night. 600 views. I suck at this. I'm so bad at this. If you could please like and subscribe, and you can hit the unsubscribe button right now. I know you'll see the number go down. It's really not that exciting. It's very old. But yeah. Yeah, if you can actually like just sort of see, there's always one. So if you could please look into your heart. Just look into your heart and look at the cartoon and just, do what the cartoon's suggesting. You run on up there and just hit that button. Just run on up there and hit that button. I'd be obliged. We're sitting here trying to deliver the news in ways that are both informative and entertaining. I bust my tail for y'all. I'm not asking you don't send money. Money's nice, but it's not necessary. It's really not necessary. But the subscription, it's kind of important. So if you can do that, I'd be obliged. Thank you. Also, if you can sub up on Locals, which is goodlogic.locals.com, that too would be cool. Let me give you this last funny thing before we get on out of here for the night. Where was you? Here it is. Okay. Well, this is good. I happen to be a big fan of this song.
Come on, she's a bitch, she's a big lead bitch, she's a big loose bitch in the whole wide world. She's a stupid bitch, and everyone's a bitch, she's a bitch too. All the boys and girls. On Monday she's a bitch, on Tuesday she's a bitch, and Wednesday, Saturday she's a bitch. And Sunday just 2 different in the Super King, come May, bitch. Come on, you all know the words.
Have you ever met my friend?
Come on, bitch, she's a big lead bitch, she's a big loose bitch in the whole wide world. She's a stupid bitch, and everyone's a bitch, she's a bitch too. All the boys and girls.
I made it twice.
On Monday she's a bitch, on Tuesday she's a bitch, and Wednesday, Saturday she's a bitch. Then on Sunday just 2 different in the Super King, come May, bitch.
I love this ice cream falling off there. There's so many subtle things that they put in this that I really appreciate it.
Come on, you all know the words. And you ever met my friend?
How do you not love this song? Woo! I wish they went into like the closing of it. Anyway, that's what I got for you tonight. I'm sending you all on over to my good friend Nick Ricada. Let me double check, make sure I haven't missed anything here. I think I caught everything. I think I caught, but I need to be 100% sure. Let's be 100% sure I didn't miss. I'm good there. I'm good there. I'm good here. Homogeneity? Is it really texting? Homogeneity? That's what I do every day. All right. That's my show. And I'm sticking to it. I thank you all for joining me. Seriously. I'm going to try and do a locals tomorrow. I think I'm going to do a locals tomorrow. Yeah. There's a good chance. Really high chance. That's a goodlogic.locals.com. Goodlogic.locals.com. Probably be like a midday thing. That's where you find notifications. I was on Xspace. Oh my God. I forgot to tell you one thing I wanted to share with you all. It was like the highlight of my day. It was the highlight of my freaking day. The highlight of my day. I can't believe I forgot about this. Let me just share this with you. Let me see if I can find it. The highlight of my day. You're gonna need to give me another 5 minutes. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. I tried finding it before the show. It was from an X space that I was in today, which some of you may have caught it. Some of you may have. Most of you probably haven't. But that is where I got the highlight of my day, because I had the rare opportunity, little old me, had the rare opportunity to interact with one of the 10 coolest people in all of Congress. It's true. This one is actually a cool guy. His name is Senator Mike Lee. That's right. I got to engage with Senator Mike Lee. During the course of that, it's going to be hard to find. It's going to be really hard to find. How long is this thing? I don't know how to find it. I'm not sure I'll be able to find it. It was a 7-hour video. 7 hour. $7 hours long. 7 hours and 49 minutes. And I don't know what time it started. Well, anyway, I was on here at one point, and I was talking with Mike Lee during the course of that conversation. So he said something. He was talking about a case from 1937 and how that changed America in dark ways and destroyed federalism. And I responded by bringing up Wicked v. Filburn. And I started railing against Wicked v. Filburn and FDR, the tyrant Democrat FDR, that few people appreciate how tyrannical he was and how damaging he was to America long term. Today, he's hailed by the left as some hero. He's a terrible man. Terrible man. I understand that he was responsible for overseeing and certainly played a very active role in getting America into fighting off Adolf. I guess that's certainly a credit. I'm not guessing. That is definitely a credit to him. 100%, a massive credit to him. But his iron fist that he had here in America, crazy, tyrannical, and damaging for now 85 years. So, yeah, that's him. That's him. That's the guy. Anyway, so I responded and I started talking about Wicked v. Filburn, and Senator Mike Lee said to me, "You just made my day, my week, my month, my year." I can't believe you just said that. When he said that, I was like, I just made Mike Lee's year? I just made Mike Lee's year? That is awesome. That is awesome. Did you make Senator Mike Lee's day? I understand none of you made his year. Maybe, or his month. Did you make his week? Did you make his day? I did. I think that's making America a better place. Anyway, when I find the clip, I'll try and share it with you. I'm not going to be able to find it now because I'd have to base. If someone else is able to send that clip to me, I would be so grateful. So grateful. It's at least an hour in, and it's probably, it happened around between 6 and 7 p.m. tonight. So, yeah. Good luck. Good luck finding it. Good luck. Anyway, it's now 12. I don't know. It was an hour into it, 2 hours into it. I don't know. 3 hours into it. I have no idea. But anyhow, if you can help me dig it up, I'd be most obliged. I will try to dig it up for you guys tomorrow because it was a cool conversation I had with him. Well, very limited interaction, but still meaningful for both of us. So I plan on sharing that with you tomorrow at some point. Also, tomorrow on Locals, I'm probably going to tell over a story that I have told here once before, but not in the past year. But it's a really good story of my life. And it's a story of when I spent 25 hours in jail. So I told this story over. It's both life lessons and it's also a fairly amusing story of how I spent 25 hours in jail. And there's a reason I'm telling this story over. There's a personal reason that I want to tell that story over because I want to express gratitude to a person who did a kindness to me. And it's appropriate to express it tomorrow, as I'll detail on Locals. That's probably what I'm going to be doing tomorrow on Locals. So that's a good logic.locals.com. But now I'm on my way out of here. So the two things, until we meet again, between now and then, these are your two goals. They're very easy. Number one, because I assume you're already signed up, goodlogic.locals.com. I assume you're already subbed up here. But number one is stay away from the friggin' lab mate. Okay? There's nothing good. Nothing good is made in a lab. Nothing. You can't prove otherwise. Nothing good is made in a lab. Stay away from lab meat. Do not eat the bugs. Don't. I saw a clip of some woman in a Democrat, giving a speech there and a bug crawling her face, and she just sort of, no, don't eat the bugs. Don't eat the bugs. Have a good night, my friends, and as always, Godspeed.